Hello, Golden State Warriors fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. The rumor mill has completely exploded this morning, and fans everywhere are losing their minds because the whispers are louder than ever. Al Horford, the veteran who has spent years being the steady hand in the paint, the calm voice in the locker room, and the ultimate example of professionalism, is reportedly on his way to the Golden State Warriors. Think about that for a second. The Warriors, a dynasty already stacked with championship DNA, are about to bring in a player who thrives on doing the little things right, the exact kind of guy who never makes headlines with flashy dunks or viral highlights, but who always seems to be on the court when games are decided. What makes this rumor so electric is the timing. Golden State has been searching for that one final piece, the veteran who can anchor the defense, stretch the floor, and provide the kind of leadership that balances out the personalities of Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. With Horford in the mix, you're talking about a lineup that could punish you in the half court, suffocate you on defense, and calmly execute in crunch time. This feels like more than just a move. It feels like the Warriors is sending a message that their championship window is not closing. It's staying wide open. When you look deeper into Horford's career, it makes perfect sense why his name would be tied to a team like the Warriors. He's been described for years as the ultimate glue guy, the player who sacrifices his stats for the greater good of the team, the one who communicates constantly, sets perfect screens, and makes his teammates better without ever demanding the spotlight. In Boston, he became beloved for his ability to take on defensive assignments against stars bigger and younger than him, while still knocking down that mid-range jumper or even a timely three-pointer. Now imagine inserting that exact skill set into the Warriors system, where ball movement, spacing, and unselfish play are the golden rules. Horford's high basketball IQ would mesh seamlessly with Steve Kerr's philosophy, and his ability to stretch the floor as a big would create even more space for Curry and Thompson to rain down threes. What people often forget is that Horford has been through the wars, deep playoff runs, high-pressure Game 7s, countless battles against MVP-caliber players. That kind of experience cannot be taught, and it's exactly what Golden State might believe they need to outlast the youth and athleticism of teams like Denver, Oklahoma City, and Minnesota in the brutal Western Conference. The whispers around league insiders suggest that this isn't just idle speculation. It's a move that both sides have been considering carefully for months. Golden State knows its dynasty doesn't have an infinite lifespan, and every season that Curry plays at an MVP level is a season they cannot afford to waste. Horford, on the other hand, is at the stage of his career where winning a title is the only thing left on his checklist. He's earned respect, he's earned money, he's earned recognition as one of the most consistent big men of his generation. But the one thing that could immortalize his career in the minds of fans is holding up that championship trophy. Pairing with the Warriors gives him the best possible shot, especially since his skill set doesn't rely on athleticism that fades with age. His game is about positioning, intelligence, and timing, all qualities that don't just disappear overnight. For Golden State, the idea of having Horford alongside Draymond means double the defensive brains, double the toughness, and a front court that suddenly becomes much more versatile. For Horford, it's the chance to play meaningful basketball at the highest level, surrounded by players who share his hunger for rings. Fans are already buzzing about how the rotations could look with Horford in a Warriors jersey. Imagine those death lineups returning, but this time with an even more experienced twist. You could see Horford sliding in as the center in small ball lineups, giving the Warriors not only spacing on offense, but also defensive versatility to switch across multiple positions. He doesn't need to dominate the ball. He doesn't need plays drawn for him. He just fits like a puzzle piece you didn't know was missing until it clicked into place. That's the beauty of this potential signing. It isn't about creating another superstar trio. It's about enhancing the Warriors' strengths with exactly the type of veteran who thrives in high-pressure situations. The chatter on social media is wild. Memes of Horford in a Warriors jersey. Analysts debating if this is the move that could finally push Golden State back to the top. fans of rival teams already worrying about what this means for their playoff hopes. The league thrives on narratives like this, and right now, the storyline of Horford to the Warriors feels like the one nobody saw coming, but everyone instantly understands. Of course, not everyone is convinced this is the perfect fit, and that's part of what makes this rumor so intriguing. Critics argue that Horford's age is a concern, that he's been in the league long enough that his body might not hold up through another grueling playoff run. Others say that Golden State's biggest problem hasn't been leadership or chemistry, but simply keeping their stars healthy. But here's the counterpoint. The Warriors don't need Horford to play 35 minutes a night. They don't need him to carry the scoring load. They need him to be steady, to be available, to provide that playoff-tested presence who knows when to slow the game down and when to ramp it up. Horford has made a career out of being the guy who doesn't make mistakes, who doesn't fold under pressure, who finds ways to contribute no matter the circumstance. That's invaluable, especially for a team that has sometimes looked vulnerable when things don't go their way. If the Warriors truly believe they're one piece away from another championship, Horford fits the profile of that missing piece. The bigger picture here is how this move, if it happens, reshapes the championship race entirely. The Western Conference is already a battlefield, with powerhouse rosters stacked with young stars and MVP candidates. Denver has Jokic, Phoenix has their big three, the Lakers are lurking, and Oklahoma City is quickly maturing into a dangerous contender. Adding Horford to the Warriors doesn't just give Golden State a boost, it sends a psychological ripple across the league. Suddenly, teams know that when they face the Warriors, they're not just dealing with Curry's shooting or Draymond's defense, but also with the poise and veteran savvy of Horford. Championships aren't only won with talent, they're won with depth, experience, and execution under pressure. Horford represents all of that in one package. Whether or not the deal is already done, the very idea of Horford joining the Warriors is enough to remind everyone. Dynasties don't fade quietly. They reload, they adjust, and they find ways to stay alive. This could be the ultimate chess move, the type of transaction that seems small on the surface but looms large when the playoffs roll around. What makes this story even juicier is how it seems to perfectly align with the Warriors' timeline. Golden State has been in this tricky space between the present and the future, trying to develop young players like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody while also maximizing the remaining prime years of Curry. Bringing in Horford doesn't block the growth of those younger guys, but instead give them a mentor who can show them how to play winning basketball at the highest level. Think about it. Kuminga learning defensive positioning from Horford, Moody learning how to contribute without demanding touches, even the young centers picking up little tricks on how to box out more effectively. These are lessons that could accelerate their growth in ways that don't show up in a box score. For Steve Kerr, having a player like Horford is a dream because he doesn't need to manage egos or force a role onto him. Horford knows exactly who he is and what he brings. It's the type of addition that smooths out rough edges, balances rotations, and creates an environment where everyone can shine. The more you look at it, the more this rumor feels like destiny rather than chance. Another fascinating angle is what this move could mean for Draymond Green. For years, Draymond has been the defensive anchor, the heart and soul of the Warriors, but also the player carrying the heaviest load on that end of the floor. Adding Horford gives Draymond a partner who speaks the same basketball language, who thrives on defense-first mentality, and who doesn't need the ball to feel impactful. Together, they could form a defensive duo that frustrates opponents endlessly, rotating with precision, communicating at elite levels, and using sheer basketball intelligence to outthink more athletic players. Offensively, Horford's ability to space the floor means Draymond doesn't have to feel the pressure of hitting threes. He can focus on playmaking and setting the tone, knowing Horford can keep defenses honest. There's also the psychological aspect. Draymond is at his best when surrounded by players he respects, guys who match his competitive fire. Horford fits that mold perfectly. The Warriors aren't just adding a body. They're potentially adding a mirror for Draymond, a veteran who validates his approach and doubles down on the Warriors' identity as a team that values grit, brains, and execution above everything else. The ripple effects of Horford joining Golden State would extend far beyond the locker room. Rival teams would instantly have to rethink their game plans. Denver, for example, has leaned heavily on Jokic's ability to punish smaller defenders. But Horford is one of the few bigs in the league who has shown he can at least make Jokic work for everything. That doesn't mean stopping him. Nobody really does. But slowing him down, even slightly in a playoff series, could be the difference between advancing and going home. Against Phoenix, Horford's size and experience would give Golden State another option to throw at Kevin Durant or DeAndre Ayton in switches, while his ability to knock down open shots keeps Phoenix's defense stretched. Even the Lakers, with Anthony Davis, would have to respect Horford's veteran savvy in the paint. The matchups suddenly look much more favorable for Golden State with him on the roster. That's why this rumor has people buzzing. It's not just about adding depth, it's about shifting the balance of power in the West. When fans start talking about how one player could change the entire playoff picture, you know the rumor has real weight. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. One of the underrated storylines here is how perfectly Horford fits the Warriors' culture. Golden State has always been about unselfishness, joy, and collective basketball, and Horford is a walking embodiment of those values. He's never been the guy demanding shots or headlines, but he's always been the guy teammates trust in the biggest moments. The Warriors' system thrives on quick reads, extra passes, and smart decision-making, and Horford has made a career out of mastering those skills. Beyond the X's and O's, though, there's also the off-court element. The Warriors' locker room has had its share of drama over the years, but adding a steady veteran presence like Horford could help keep things grounded. He's respected across the league, he's admired by coaches, and younger players listen when he talks. That kind of presence isn't flashy, but it's invaluable when the season gets long and emotions run high. Golden State knows that championships aren't just about talent. They're about chemistry, trust, and culture. Horford strengthens all of those pillars in one stroke. If this rumor proves true, it's not just a basketball move. It's a cultural reinforcement of everything the Warriors believe in. Of course, the business side of this rumor is where things get really interesting. The Warriors are notorious for their massive payroll, their luxury tax bills, and their willingness to spend big if it means staying competitive. Bringing in Horford would require financial maneuvering, but this is an organization that has never hesitated to pay when a title is on the line. The front office knows that windows close quickly in the NBA, and once Curry's prime fades, no amount of money can bring it back. That urgency makes a deal like this not just possible, but logical. Horford, for his part, might be willing to take less money if it means joining a contender with a real shot at the trophy. That mutual interest is why this rumor refuses to die. It just makes too much sense for both sides. The Warriors get the veteran presence they crave, Horford gets the shot at glory he deserves, and fans get a new chapter in the dynasty saga. The NBA is as much about storylines as it is about stats, and this one is tailor-made to dominate headlines if it becomes reality. At the end of the day, whether this rumor becomes fact or fades into speculation, the buzz it's creating is undeniable. Fans are already imagining Horford hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy alongside Curry and Thompson, already debating on podcasts and talk shows about how unstoppable the Warriors would be with him, already envisioning how this could cement Golden State's legacy as one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. For Horford, it's the perfect chance to step into the role of final piece, the veteran who completes the puzzle and helps deliver one last run of glory. For the Warriors, it's a chance to silence doubters who said their time was over, to show that dynasties don't fade quietly, they evolve. That's the magic of the NBA. Rumors like this don't just entertain, they spark imagination, they fuel debates, and they keep the league alive year-round. Whether the deal is done behind the scenes or still just whispers in the wind, one thing is clear. The thought of Al Horford in a Warriors jersey is enough to shake the league to its core. Sometimes, all it takes is one piece to change everything. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.